We're making my mostly made, most delicious summer staple, which is something that we make every single week without fail from the delicious sweet tomatoes in our garden. Hi guys, I'm Laura Vitale. Today we're making what my nonna, or in Naples what we call pasta shwe shwe, which means really quick pasta. And it's really quick because it's sort of it's a method that you're using very fresh tomatoes so that the sauce doesn't need that long to cook. And if you're anything like us or my nonna and you grow lots of tomatoes in your garden, then this is the perfect pasta to make. Without question, this is the most commonly asked for recipe on my Instagram. You see it a lot. I post a lot of photos of what we eat, and I think I post a photo of some sort of way of us eating this dish about once a week. My dad was over a couple weeks ago. He made it and you guys were asking for the recipe. I make it for Mia once a week. It's something I can throw together for 15 minutes and it's done. It's just extremely easy and simple, but absolutely delicious. And you always want to see it, so here we go. I'm gonna make it for you. I'm gonna be here for the next 45 minutes getting oil out of this container. But really, I'm using this because I don't know if you can tell the difference, the color of the olive oil in here. This is extra virgin olive oil, so you can see it's very green, very dark in color. It's really strong in flavor. The sauce itself is only going to be using a few ingredients. You need really fresh tomatoes, you need really good extra virgin olive oil, you need garlic, pasta of your choice. You got to use spaghetti here. It's just sort of the only pasta that really goes, or pennette, really tiny penne. Garlic and basil and salt. That's all you're going to use, but that's kind of what makes this dish so delicious. It's one of our favorites. So it's called shwe shwe because in Napolitan, shwe shwe just means like really fast. Hurry up. Or as my dad used to say years ago, ariop. Okay, so I've got a big skillet here. I'm only making a half a pound of pasta, so this little skillet is going to do, but if I was making more, then I would use my shallow Dutch oven. I've got a few cloves of garlic. I am just going to smash them. I am not going to chop them. Now, I've said this before, there's a big misconception that Italians love garlic. Now, I am one of the people that really loves garlic, but really in authentic Italian homes, like my dad or my nonna, the home I grew up in, no one likes a lot of garlic. They like infusion of garlic flavor, but no one likes to bite on garlic, and it's hardly ever chopped. You typically just take it and you smash it and you put it whole into some cold olive oil and let those come to temperature together. That way the garlic really infuses into the oil, and then you can take the cloves out before you go to serve it. Because if one of my uncles bit on big pieces of garlic, I think they would have a heart attack. What I've done here is I've taken our tomatoes. We have been growing, these are called, what are they called? Sweet 100s. That's what they're called. They're called Sweet 100s. They're very, very easy to grow in New Jersey. They're very sweet. They grow like crazy. They grow so much I can't keep up. So what I do is I make a lot of sauce and I freeze it. They're phenomenal. And if you are in South Jersey or in Jersey, they will grow really, really well, and you'll get a lot of bulk for what you plant. So it's something that kind of like keeps giving you tomatoes pretty much day after day. I just cut them in half. All I did was just half the tomatoes, and they've been sitting aside. They're very sweet and absolutely divine, and it's gonna make the sauce be incredible. I've got some fresh basil from the garlic. I'm just gonna wait for these to come to room temperature and start to sizzle a little bit, and then we move on. Garlic is lightly golden. Don't be afraid, by the way, to use a good amount of olive oil. I would say about a quarter cup for every half a pound of pasta. Simply because the oil is also part of the sauce, right? Really good oil, super sweet tomatoes, good pungent garlic. It's phenomenal. Add your tomatoes in, along with a nice healthy pinch of sale. Put a few basil leaves in now. We'll put some fresh at the end. I mean, this right here, oh, is that not perfect or what? This would be wonderful just as is, as a side dish or on pieces of bread. But all I'm gonna do now is let these cook for about, I would say, 15 minutes. I've got my water up to a boil already for my pasta. When my tomatoes have about 8 or 9 minutes left, so about halfway through the cooking, I'm gonna add my pasta to the boiling water. I don't wanna cook it too early because I don't want it to sit. You never want your pasta to sit. You always want the sauce to sit and the pasta be fresh at the last minute, otherwise it turns gummy and it overcooks really easily. I'm just gonna keep my eye on everything. In about 7 minutes or so, I'm gonna go ahead and add the pasta in, but I will show you at the halfway mark what you're looking for before we go any further. been about 7 minutes. This is the halfway mark. This is what you want this to look like. I'm gonna crank the heat down to like low because I don't want to scorch anything. I want to keep things really gentle, but this is the perfect time to add the pasta to the boiling water. You get that all in there. It's great. I'm telling you, this is like the most perfect, like late night. I'm so tired. I don't feel like cooking. I don't stand. Aspetta. I'm so tired. I don't feel like cooking. And you know what the interesting thing is? On Instagram, I do a lot of like Q&A, ask me questions, advice, yada, yada. One of the things I get asked a lot is how does someone start cooking? Like, where do I start if I haven't really cooked before, right? I always say start with the most simple and basic things and really perfect them. This is one of the things that you need to perfect. If you don't have fresh tomatoes, you can use the exact same method using a can of really good San Marzano tomatoes. When you start working on the basics and you really perfect how to cook your sauce, choosing the right sweet tomatoes, not the cheapest can in the aisle, because that's just gonna give you a subpar sauce, right? How to cook your pasta perfectly, how to season that water perfectly with the right amount of salt. When you get those basics going, it's just going to ignite this incredible fire that's going to help you become more confident in the kitchen. If you were to go from cooking nothing to cooking a lobster bisque, you'd feel really intimidated. But try something like this. It's 5 ingredients without the salt. 5 ingredients, extremely basic, but it's one of the best things you can learn to make. And then you can grow. Next time you can make, you know, a variety with shrimp. You can take this and turn it into a vodka sauce. I mean, you can do lots of different things with it, but starting here is a great way for you to get your feet wet when it comes to being in the kitchen. And I'm telling you, when you learn to cook pasta the right way, your life will change. I'm just gonna keep this on a gentle simmer, cook my pasta till it's about al dente, and then we continue. Sauce is ready. By the way, if you hear any singing, Little Chef is serenading her Barbies in the next room. Someone's got to do the job, and she does it very well. I've got my pasta here, my spaghetti. I'm going to put them in this pot. I drain them really good. Hold on, as always, forget a ladle. I'm going to turn off my sauce. The sauce is perfection. It is sweet. It is delicious. It's just everything that I love. It's pretty dang on perfect if you ask me. I am gonna tear, never chop, as my nonna would say. Some fresh basil right in. Really coat it. It's not gonna be, I don't know how to explain it. It's not gonna be a red saucy sauce, okay? It's just a really lovely, sweet, delicious, fresh tasting beauty. Look at that. I'm gonna go ahead and just plate this up and just you wait. I'm gonna bring this closer. She's really belting it out in there. Look at that. It is not watery. It is just a delight. Now, obviously, get you some parm on the side. I'm gonna tell you something crazy. You're not gonna wanna hear it. You're gonna think I'm nuts. This is the kind of sauce I don't prefer parm on top of. I know what you're gonna say, I know what you're thinking, but you just have to hear me out. For some reason, a really fresh tomato sauce like this, I don't know, there's just something about it that I feel like if I were to add parm, it would somehow really kind of just cloud that really beautiful sweet flavor. So I don't add any. However, obviously you can if you want to, and my dad he might disown me if I told him that he couldn't have parm on top of something like this. I like an extra drizzle of really good quality olive oil just to kind of bring everything to life, and very untraditional, but I'm gonna do it anyway. My brother does, my mom does, and it's just so good. Freshly ground black pepper on the very top. And that is pasta shue shue, a summer delight. Absolutely delicious. You can't tell me that that is not making your mouth water, because it's certainly making my mouth water. I'm gonna dive in, because that's what I do, and I'm gonna slurp, I'm sure. I did chew. I just chew really, really fast. That is summer in a bowl, on a fork. It's perfect. It's simple. It reminds me of like lunches at the Lido in Italy, lunches at my Nonna's house with the tomatoes from our backyard. You could not give me a lobster tail and it would give me the same vibe and the same feelings as this does. It is home. It is perfection. Perfect it so that you know how to make a phenomenal pasta shue shue for your family. Go to laurainthekitchen.com for the written recipe. Hope you enjoyed spending time with me. I'm going back in. I'll see you in the next one.